to the try. Messed up.
Failure.
Restart.
Take two.
Take two.
Welcome to Faith, Fiction, and Folklore, or the Tri-F podcast, as we like to call it, and as we've already done. Wait, I messed up again, Gary.
Go.
I'm crashing this. All right,
I need to
Strike
get one
three.
of those take things.
Get focused. Go.
take three.
Focus.
Welcome to Faith, Fiction, and Folklore, or as we like to call it, the Tri-F podcast, where we try not to F the podcast up, like I just did twice.
3 times.
Yay, you did it.
Today we are talking about some pervy old preacher and some other guy that's just being ridiculous about it.
Mike and
then Mike Winger, who's like, I want to get in on this drama, So
That's why I had you sign us in. That was a excellent summation. All right.
Drove for days.
Here we go. So for those of you who are not familiar with this is technically part 2.
Technically.
And so I guess I need to key this up a little bit again. So basically, whenever this video first came out, me in my shame, I decided to watch this video by Mike Winger to dance on Dr. Michael Brown's shame, as it were. Because I'm not a fan of Dr. Michael Brown. He has irritated me for many a year.
Michael Brown. Who is Michael Brown?
Dr. Michael Brown is a famous Pentecostal preacher. He is most well known for, I believe it's
Being Pentecostal?
objections to the Jewish Jesus, I believe is what it's called. It's a fantastic, actually, let me just Google it. That'd be easier. I feel like it would be stupid if I didn't actually Google it. I want to get this right, so hang on a minute. But
You
yes,
are not stupid.
well, thank you, Trevor. You are always so supportive and so kind. So give me 30 seconds here.
One.
That's what she said.
Good one.
That is hateful. You guys are so hateful. Why? Okay.
What does hateful mean?
It's not going to give me...
later.
Okay, here we go. So here's a book that he did. He had a YouTube series based on the book, but this'll work. Excuse me. I'm a professional. Okay. So Answering Jewish Objections to Jesus, Messianic Prophecy Objections, Volume 3, paperback. So Michael Brown he's a Messianic Jew, and he's a Pentecostal. So he got famous for dealing with a lot of the Jewish refutations to Christianity. And he's been around for many a year, had a radio show, podcast, all the rest of it. Annoys me very much. I used to listen to him, and then he got on my nerves and I quit listening to him. And so...
Why?
Well, that's a long story. There's several reasons. It's like I'd have to pick an event. It doesn't matter. The point is, I wanted to dance on this guy's shame, and then by the end of the video, I'm going, this guy's getting railroaded. This is an injustice. And so I wanted to go over this video with you guys in the first part to basically see if I'm crazy. And I wanted to explore the question, why did I flip? Why did someone like me, who was very hostile to Michael Brown in the beginning, flip? What is it about this guy's story that made me change my mind? Even though this is supposed to defend the accusations against Michael Brown. All right, Cody, go with your theory. What do you think? Why do you think I've flipped my opinion?
Because this guy is like the spawn of Satan. He's just lying through his teeth constantly. And he has a soul patch. And you're just like...
The soul patch is a tell.
It's the lies are like, oh, I don't like this guy. You can just tell when it's a lie. It's your body reacting to his language, even though you don't care.
Right. I believe this guy's name is Ron Canter, I believe. I'm trying to...
His name is Uncle Cracker.
His name
Did you make the decanter?
His name... Decanter? I don't see it. All right, Ron Canter, I think's the guy's name. Here we go. Ron Canter. There we go. All right, so Jess had a good point, though. I do, because she watched last week's episode, and I wanted to end on this because this kind of sums up the first part of the video. She was like, what was bothering her was the fact that he would subtly humble brag while complaining about this guy. He's like, I can't believe this guy held a woman's hand. I learned about it while I was in Israel.
Well, I was in Israel.
And everybody's like, well, that's a random detail to throw in there. He's like, when I got back from my prayer meeting and learned about Michael Brown touching that girl's keister, I couldn't talk for 3 days. It's like, why are you mentioning the prayer meeting? I was so offended. So it's like he's always sneaking in these humble brags.
Yeah.
He was like, I fell out of my seat.
Oh yeah. Jess was like, this is ridiculous, because she's like, there's literally a medical diagnosis. At one point he goes, I couldn't speak for 3 days in my apartment. I couldn't speak. My wife asked me what was
That's
wrong.
Such a stupid thing to say.
And I'm like, you mean men are perverted? And that shocked you for 3 days? You couldn't even talk to your wife? And she was like, this guy's so full of crap.
It's like, what are you, a eunuch?
Yeah, apparently he's a eunuch. Yeah, so Captain Soul Patch is here to save us from the perversions of the male gender. So
He'd be like, follow me, everything is all right.
oh gosh, you're gonna...
I'll be the one to hold your hand at
copyright,
night.
copyright. So, okay, all right. So that's a good summation of part one. Is this guy seemed very dubious because of his humble brags and his soul patch. So we're gonna move on.
Moving forward.
I just couldn't fathom that these were true. So I got a hold of him
I know.
about 3 days later, and I said, Mike,
couldn't
I am
fathom.
dreading. And by the way, all these emails can be read. What I wrote, his responses to me.
Not
I brought
from
2 more
Hillary
people,
Clinton.
Matthew 18 in Brown
Focus,
Oh,
Trevor.
sorry.
All right.
report, brownwitnessreport.com. I reached out
Okay, remember that. We might end up looking this up before the end of this video. brownwitnessreport.com. That's
Back it up
his.
so I can write it down.
brownwitnessreport.com. TM.
Like,
brownwitnessreport.com.
How do you spell .com?
I hate you.
Thank you. Okay, it's written down.
Okay, thank you.
Even though I'll forget I wrote it down.
Of course you will. That's all right. Moving on.
to Mike, and I said, Mike, this is an email I don't want to write you.
Oh,
I'm
sure.
dreading, but you're my friend, and I don't know if you know, but you're being investigated, and I want you to know. And so I won't tell you what he said then, because we're going to get into that later. But that led to a series of conversations throughout the weekend where I then confronted very specific things that I was told between two women 23 years ago. And I came to find out that this had been confronted at least 10 different times over the past 23 years, but Mike had evaded responsibility. I didn't realize that I was
Evaded responsibility.
For 23 years.
In English, that means took care of it privately. And then other people kept bringing it up. And he said it was already dealt with. But he evaded responsibility. Now, I should also preface at the first part of this video that this guy was awfully specific about what... And again, if you don't believe me, go back and watch the video for yourself. It's there. But he was like, now, I didn't make this worse. People keep saying I made this worse. I didn't make this worse. When really he heard a rumor on the wind about this situation, and he went and he talked to the girl. And the girl, Brown wasn't pressuring her. He wasn't trying to keep her quiet, that we know of. And
He just paid her off.
no, he didn't pay her off. He didn't do anything. Basically, he got caught. If you remember the story...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you remember the story, he was holding hands with her. He smacked her on the behind, kissed her, like what they call chaste kisses, pecks on the lips, peck on the forehead, peck on the cheek. And then he met like a handful of times in a Walmart parking lot. And he was doing all of this under the pretense of, oh, she's like a daughter to me. So, no question, this dude was being pervy. Like, he was being a pervert.
For sure.
Yeah, but then one day, the girl who was dog sitting at their house finds a letter. She finds a letter, and he has written his sexual fantasies about her. And she comes across these. She freaks out, as she should have, calls him a pervert, and leaves. And that's the end of the deal. Like, there was a conversation, like, Michael Brown talks to his wife about it. They talk to her about it. They're going to go into more details. There's, like, this weird, I don't know if it's, like, their attempt to skirt responsibility from the school or if this is, like, some doctrine thing. I don't know. But they try to basically say that he is going to apologize to her, and she is going to represent the entire school. And we'll get into more of that later. That's actually coming up.
Yep.
Bottom line is, though, she doesn't buy any of it. She calls him a pervert, and she leaves, which is what should have happened.
Normal.
Yeah, that's what you would expect to happen. And, Brown admitted that this incident happened. He had egg on his face. He accepted that he had egg on his face. He didn't lie or try to deny that this took place. It's just what these guys are really wanting, just to cut to the chase, is they want a struggle session. They cannot stand that this was handled privately. The girl called him a pervert. It was an isolated incident from 20 years ago.
23
years ago. It got dealt with, and it's done. They want him to go. Well, at first they say they want him to go to the elders. He eventually does have to go to the elders because it all comes out. And then when the elders are like, yeah, we're not going to do anything about this because it was 23 years ago, they get mad and scream it's about cover-up culture.
Yeah.
So
essentially, this guy was like, he was like a crappy little kid playing in the backyard, and he finds a buried hatchet, and he digs it up, and he waves it around and puts it in everybody's face. He's like, "Mom and Dad, look at this!
yeah, he's
It's a
digging
buried
up.
hatchet."
Yeah, it's a little on the nose, but I like it. So. Yeah, and for the record, in terms of the metaphor buried hatchet, they had made up, from what I understand, years
Right.
later. Like, at the time, she blew up at him, and then it was resolved years later. So this was done, and then Captain Beta Male over here decides to rip the scab off and goes, "That was so horrible. I can't believe that happened to you. You know that's assault, right?" And, of course, she's like, "Oh my gosh, you're right. That's assault.
I'm a victim.
I'm a victim." Yeah. So this thing that happened and was done with years ago gets all brought up. And of course, my opinion on the whole thing is this is a coup. Brown is old. They want him gone. And so they're digging up crap that everybody's talked about for 2 decades to try to bully him out. That's what I think's actually going on. And that's why I think we get all this flamboyant, melodramatic language about how terrible this is. Because I've been thinking about it for a week, and I've come to the conclusion that the tell is, wow, men are perverts. Wow, preachers tend to be so perverted, there's a cinematic archetype for them. And yet he can't fathom a preacher having issues with lust. He can't talk in his apartment for 3 days because it's so shocking that a preacher is a pervert.
He fell out of his
I
chair.
can't believe it. Fell out of his chair. Yeah, that's one thing he said. Yeah, he fell out of his chair. I mean, it's just this, oh my gosh, these people are rending their garments. I'm surprised he doesn't have sackcloth and ash on his head, you know? Yeah. I mean,
he's getting just 15 minutes of fame out of this deal, though.
I guess so. Yeah.
It's like, look at me, I'm dethroning the king.
Yeah, you're right.
I will say, watching this interview, because I got like 2 hours into it, but like the Michael Brown guy, he's completely not. He hasn't come to terms with himself, I don't think, because he's still trying to put up a front.
There are reasons I don't like Michael Brown. You
Yeah.
are correct. He is not a good guy. And I will say this. If Michael Brown were in Mike Winger's chair, the situation would be exactly the same. Like, this whole stupid thing, as infuriating as it is Michael Brown kind of being hoisted on his own petard. Because he's part of the group that's put up this whole, like, emotional affair culture and all this crap where it's like anything and everything has to have a sexual connotation to it. Like, he's one of the guys that contributed to that. So we're not saying, like you said it best last week, Cody. It's shitheads. Shitheads everywhere. And I have to pick a side. So,
Shatheed.
yeah.
Look, there's a Shatheed.
Yeah.
There's a
Hey
Shatheed.
guys, I am interested in knowing my phone's about to die, so I'm gonna call it a night.
You're going to call it a night? All right, man. Well, I
Nope.
appreciate you. Can you hear me? I appreciate you coming on. I'm sorry that the signal issues have been a little weird. We'll maybe try it at laptop some other time, but I'm really glad you came on, man.
Yeah,
Thanks.
let's get
Me too.
Yep. Thank you.
Thanks. It's fun.
All
See you,
right,
Greg.
Yeah,
See ya.
Yeah. all right. I'll talk to you later.
Love you.
Man. All right, see you, man. Bye.
Bye.
All right, let's see here. I guess I'll have to go straight to the 3 scenes thing. All
We
got
right.
three
three
scenes.
scenes.
Of Orientar?
So, yeah, I wanted to go into this, though, because I really wanted to make the case that I'm not just insulting this guy to be mean. Like, I am calling him Captain Soulpatch for good reason. Like, because I wouldn't be making fun of him if I didn't feel like it was completely appropriate, just to be blunt. But anyway, what do you guys think? You guys talk for a minute, because I got to get my windows set back up.
Oh, Captain Soulpatch. I don't know. I feel like I've already said it all. Like, he's just like a Gamma that wants to take down the king and get his little 15 minutes of fame for the people.
He's a
Yeah,
Shatheed.
You know, Jess had a wonderful analogy for
What
him.
is Satheed?
Shatheed. It's shithead,
Oh,
but
oh,
it's
gotcha.
pronounced
Oh.
Shatheed.
Ah.
I thought you were saying something fancy. Jess said what, Gary?
She had a wonderful way to describe him, and I just thought the world of it. She said, he's Iago. You guys might not get this reference, but Iago is a Shakespearean villain.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Aladdin.
No, not the parrot, not the parrot. But Iago is this Shakespearean bad guy,
Uh-huh.
and he's mad about something obscure that happened 20 years ago. And he's like, I pretend to be the Moor's friend, but I hate the Moor, for he hath done my office, which means his wife. So he spends the entire play trying to undo Othello, which he succeeds in the end. He's like this, evil puppet master guy, and it's like, this dude's Iago. Because if you notice at the beginning of the show, and I thought he was talking about Mike Winger, but when we watched it again, no, he was referring to Michael Brown. They had a falling out. Him and Michael Brown had a falling out. And then they made up. They're perfectly good friends now. And now I'm kind of like, oh, you only said that to cover your butt because you're probably still mad about whatever the heck happened 8 years ago. Mm-hmm. And this is about getting even. But you can't say that, forgiveness and all that stuff that we tend to believe, all that. Anyway, so I was just...
No doubt. He's living in the past. He's got, he's got anger in his heart. And
yeah.
He's trying to, show how he doesn't. He's like, oh, I'm just trying to help. And you're really my friend, but I'm going to out you in front of all these people.
Yeah.
For your own good.
Yeah, for your own good. For accountability. Yeah. But it's a struggle session. It's not accountability. Because the way I understand, when you have conflicts among Christians and stuff, the way I understand that this is supposed to work is you try to deal with things interpersonally first. Whatever it is, And then if you can't, you go up the next chain of command. That could be your church. That could be, your company. That could be your college, whatever. And then there's a pecking order to that. But ideally, because we're Christians, we're not supposed to be taking things to other people all the time. And so if something does get dealt with interpersonally, then whatever sin or horrible thing took place, it's done. You're finished. Now, if there's a if it's like a cover up, if they're like, threatening to hurt the victim or whatever, if there's some kind of active component to the crime, that's different. But what these guys describe as a cover up is not a cover up. And that's kind of what I want to show. So,
nope. But that word gets a lot of clicks, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. It does. A term like cover up culture is going to get a lot of clips, which is incredibly irritating because I agree that there is a cover up culture in a lot of these evangelical circles. I just don't think Dr. Brown's participating in it.
Yeah.
After hearing this, and again, no other sources, just their side of the story. I haven't even listened to anything Dr. Brown has said yet. I intend to. And I intend to go look at those emails. But, just listening to these guys, there's enough tells to say that there's something clearly wrong here, at least in my opinion. And that's the point I wanted to make, and that's why I'm wanting to play this, because it just astonished me how quickly and obvious it was that he was lying. So,
yeah.
Anyway.
For 10 or 11 in a secession. So by the end of the weekend, he had found out about this, he told me, 6 weeks earlier. And that weekend, I was coming into the States from Israel, and I said, well, let's talk when I get there. We did talk briefly. He told me a little bit more that there was a girl or a woman, 20 years old, that was like a daughter to him, and he acted foolishly. That was pretty much what he told me. And he sat down with his board that weekend and told them, but he didn't tell them everything. He left out the other situation. So there were two situations, and I'll give you the very short version, and then we can open it up. So with one woman, Sarah Monk, she worked for him. She was a grad. She was like a family member, and she loved Mike like a father. But then he took it to what I would call a darker, more physical place, where there was hand-holding, there was kissing on the forehead at least. Again, I'll tell you what I found out that weekend from him. Hand-holding, kissing on the forehead, smacking her on her butt from time to time, and then meeting late at night at Walmart, just the two of them. And for us in the Brownsville revival, the idea of a married man doing anything alone with an unmarried woman was that was grounds for getting kicked out of school. You just never do anything like that. So as he confessed this, and by that state...
What are your thoughts on that whole doctrine? Never be alone with a married woman or whatever.
I think that's smart, honestly.
I think it's smart.
You shouldn't.
But
I don't think you should.
Yeah, go on. Sorry, finish your thought.
Like, I don't, like on Facebook, because I have Facebook for like my business and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't add people's wives. Like, I'll add men and I'll accept friend requests from females, but I don't add them. So it's just kind of like, it's a good boundary to have, to just not be alone with women as a married man.
I think it's smart. I think it's smart. And that's certainly how I conduct myself, because I've been in situations where it just takes like one person saying something and you're done. And you're not going to be believed. Period. So, yeah that's how I conduct
that is
myself.
Changing, but
yeah, but I guess my difference with these guys would be like, I wouldn't consider that sinful. Like if you're hanging out alone with somebody of the opposite sex, I wouldn't call it
sinful, but it's good to protect yourself.
Yeah, it's dumb. It's dumb if you do that, but there's a difference between stupid. There's a difference between stupid and sinful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's kind of my problem with this. And honestly, everybody I've ever heard, this is anecdotal. This is purely anecdotal. But every time some jackwagon's going, I don't even eat dinner alone with another woman or whatever, I don't even go into the office alone. Every time they start bragging about it, I'm like, they usually do some other horrible thing later on, It's like, and that's been my experience. It's like, usually it's this self-righteous declaration of how they're never alone with women usually means they're covering up for something else. But that's anecdotal. That's personal experience.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think there's a distinction between stupid and sinful, and I don't think they like to make that distinction.
Yeah. Speaking of sinful, I wanted to point it out. This guy, he's like pretending to care So, like he's projecting. That's why we don't like him. You can tell he's projecting.
Yeah, I
So-
mean, just look at his face.
Yeah.
Were you paused to that?
Right. So he's like, he wants to protect these women, right? He's like, oh, I'm going to point out the bad man, but he's like outing these girls.
Yeah.
He's like saying their names. Like, why would you say their names? You're pointing a spotlight on it.
Skipping ahead towards the end, yeah. Me and Jess were talking in the car whenever they were discussing how Dr. Brown dealt with the girl figuring all this stuff out. And the way that they did it is they wanted her to be like this avatar for the whole school. But the thing is, he didn't hold hands. As far as I know, he didn't hold hands with other girls at the school. He didn't do the other stuff, or at the very least, he didn't do the other stuff to the same extent to other girls. He had, like, the pervy fantasies about other girls, and she was among those other girls, but he wasn't actually, like, doing the quote-unquote inappropriate behavior with the other girls. And yet they wanted him to, I guess, apologize to the whole school. And I was like, and you know, me and Jess were talking, and I asked her, I was like, if some old man was fantasizing about you, would you really want to know? I mean, if some old lady was fantasizing about me, I wouldn't want to know. I'm like, and she was like, no, I wouldn't want to know that. And I mean, maybe I'm just a cynic, but I just kind of assume everybody has perverted thoughts and they have to say no and reject that stuff. And if somebody has a thought about me, I'm like, I don't need to know. That is not my business.
Yeah, because it's not even real. It's not even real. Like your thoughts are like clouds, they come and go and they're not even
right.
So why would I care about somebody else's little cloud that's going to disappear in 5 minutes?
Yeah, you don't know where they come from. You don't always know if they're even yours. And the idea, like, at least in, we cast down evil imaginations. That's the terminology in the Bible. Yeah. You cast down, which means you're going to have them before you can cast them down.
Did you watch that video I sent you?
I watched one. I don't know if I got
the short one.
I don't remember which one was the short one, which one was the long. Let me
about
check.
It's a professor and he projects sound waves like in a beam.
Yes,
like a
yes, I did
beam.
watch that one. I did watch
Pretty
that
cool.
one. That is cool. That is cool. But that does demonstrate the point. It's like you don't even know what thoughts are yours, what are the devil. Sometimes we can't hear God when we're supposed to. Right. You don't always know. And so it's just, I don't feel like the guy owed an explanation to the whole school, and I don't think the girls would have I don't think they would have wanted to have known about it. Right. But again, and this was the thing that I think kind of made Jess mad, and this was the thing she wanted me to hone in on a lot when we were talking today. She was like, you need to really stress that they keep saying the word groomer and they keep saying the word student because they are trying to emphasize the predatory nature of Dr. Brown when that is not what was happening. This is a 20-year-old college student who wasn't one of his students. She was an employee. And frankly, whether people like it or not, there are 40-year-old men dating dramatically younger staffers all the time. That is a thing that happens, and it is common. So you could say it's wrong, you could say it's weird, but it's not predatory, and it doesn't present a threat to the other students. But they intentionally choose the word student and groomer and use it repeatedly because their whole case for him doing that struggle session is predicated on the idea that he is an active threat to the students when he was not.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And that's lying. That what they did was lying. To use that terminology, knowing the impression it creates, when that's not exactly what happened, is a lie.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's terrible.
Yeah, he is. And I need to shut up so we can actually watch him tell his side of the story instead of me just telling people what he said.
Captain Soul Patch.
Yeah.
We're in the second phase of what I would call Matthew 18. I confronted him privately. I heard his denial, and then I brought 2 guys with me, and I said, Mike, here's specifically what I heard. And then he confessed, probably to about 65, 70% of what was being accused. And the next...
Okay, let's just stop here. 65 to 70% of an accusation of what was accused of that account is pretty blasted good, considering both people are remembering events from 20 years ago.
Yeah.
That's I wouldn't expect it to be that high, to be perfectly blunt. So,
fair.
Yeah, I don't think he's exactly lying. Not when so much time has passed.
Next day, I wrote him back and I said, Mike, listen, I understand that you think you acted foolishly and this was not really... And with the other woman, by the way, he said that there was a sinful soul tie, but there was no real description of what that meant. We now know...
Can I just say, soul tie means crush. This is why I hate Christianese. I hate Christianese because there's nothing in the Bible about soul ties. Like, there is a term that I was aware of in demonology where if you have a family member with a demon and you get into a fight and then you go home, the demon could follow you, hypothetically, because there is a soul tie. But in this nomenclature, it just means crush. But it's meant to sound super spiritual. Everything good?
A puppy.
Oh, they got an animal. So, Trevor, what do you think? You're being quiet.
About soul ties?
Yeah, I mean, just anything I've said, because I've just been screaming my head off for 30 minutes.
Yes.
Okay, give me more. Give me more.
Oh. I don't know.
I think there's some validity to the term.
To the term soul tie is in the demonological sense, or the way they're using it?
The demonological sense.
Yeah. I think so too. I mean, I think that's fine as far as like demonology, but that's to sit there and make it sound like...
I think it takes more than holding hands to make one, but
yeah. To sit there and act like a crush is something like a soul tie. It's like got some sort of special spiritual significance or whatever. That's just stupid to me.
Or it could be in this particular case, it could be something that he can call his lust.
Yeah, like it's maybe a more spiritual way to say lust, perhaps.
Yeah, and it's like kind of
Yeah.
excusing it, I guess, or trying to not show it for what it is.
I just
Yeah.
wish people would speak plain. I'm like, I want
Well,
to see
you
her
can't
naked.
speak plainly when you're a liar,
I guess.
and it unties all the knots that you got tied.
I guess. Good night. I just wish people would say what they mean. Anyway.
Mean what you say and
After
say
the
what you mean.
Yeah.
That it was a verbal, a textual email, and then a phone erotic relationship that progressed over many months until it got to a place that was quite unclean. And according to Ray, the husband, that included Mike pressuring this woman, Kim, into not sleeping with her own husband, which shows a desire for possession. You know, you're mine. You don't belong to him. You belong to me.
That is a direct assault upon the marriage.
Yes.
What are your thoughts?
How is it a direct assault?
Oh, it is. I agree. Because he said it. I don't need to.
Yeah. I feel like there needs to be more details. It's like we're getting, it was an erotic conversation. Okay, that sounds, when you say that, I'm thinking like they're sexting, like they're talking vulgarly in these emails, like they're describing them doing lewd acts to each other or something.
Yeah.
But that might not be what they mean. It could be, well, I gotta admit, I kind of want to have relations with you. And then the other person goes, hey, me too. And then that becomes erotic emailing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, they're not giving specific examples. They're not describing how far it's going. They don't know, like, we don't know the context behind pressuring her not to have sex with him. Why? Was she worried about having a kid? Was it like we're gonna run off? You know, like we I feel like I need to know more before I could even make a decision about whether that's right or wrong or whatever.
Right.
I feel like I'm getting pieces of information that are being framed to look as bad as possible.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I'm just suspicious.
Yeah.
So
Super sus, bro,
super sus.
as the kids would say.
Yeah.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Pressured
Yeah.
Kim to meet him in a public place. When I say public, I mean outside the home, privately, and she would not do those things.
That was a good spin
And so
on
I didn't know
words.
all those details on that.
A public. Okay, what do you mean?
A public place, but privately.
Yeah, he did say that.
Yeah.
They met privately in a public place.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a complete spin on words.
It's like, do you mean a
Again,
date?
he's trying to reframe it to make it look worse, like Gary said.
Yeah. Well, no. If he'd said a date, if he'd meant date, he would have said date. So the fact that he's wording it so weird means it means something else. Like whatever it was, maybe they had a meeting, maybe they had to go pick up something for the office because she did work for him at a certain point.
Yeah.
You know, like if it was like some kind of romantic sleazy thing, do you think this guy would be coloring his wording to make it seem less extreme? Or do you think this guy would be coloring his wording to make whatever it was seem as awful as possible?
Yeah.
I think this guy is just an overreactor. Like,
Right.
he
Yeah.
fell
He's
out
just
of his
going off.
chair.
He's going off little snippets of a thing and like trying to conjecture and make it
Blow it out.
frame it worse than it as bad as he wants it.
Yeah.
Day, but just based on what I knew is that out of his mouth, a sinful soul tie with Kim and with the single woman, Sarah, 20 years old. There was a touching of her butt, kissing on the head.
Just to note, not sure how telling this is, but this might suggest maybe some escalation, maybe even in his own mind. At the beginning, it was smacking her butt. He was smacking it. Now he's touching it. Those words have different connotations. One's jovial or aggressive, or you smack somebody for a variety of different reasons. You touch somebody for a different, that's a whole other thing. There's different connotations with that terminology.
Yeah.
And it grows.
Ew.
Holding her hand in front of a bunch of other students and proclaiming that this is my, Sarah's like a daughter to me. That's why I can hold her hand. And then he continued to hold her hand in a car with students watching for several minutes. It was unsettling to the students who were in the car. And then meeting late
He's
at night.
talking like he was there.
So the next day I
Yeah, he's talking like he was there. Now, but let's just assuming that that's true, assuming that that's exactly how it happened, which I don't know because I haven't heard Dr. Brown's side of the story. Do you okay, what do you guys think? Why do you think he was holding the hands? That's because it's baffling to me.
I think it goes into it when he starts talking and he talks about how he did something that was like a little inappropriate, like kissed her on the head or something like that. And then all the other students were like, whoa. And he was like, oh, she's like a daughter to me. Look, I'll hold her hand. It was like a reactionary thing.
So he was doubling down over something
Yeah.
he probably didn't think about initially.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
And sometimes, best friends, they hold hands.
Oh, yeah, there's contexts where there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
It's just the issue with Brown is he did have the letter with the pervy stuff on it. He admits to having the letter with the pervy stuff on it. So that does reframe. Because honestly, if it wasn't for the pervy letter, I wouldn't give a crap about any of this because I wasn't there and I wouldn't know why he was doing what he was doing.
Yeah.
But the letter does give it a context. That means he was lustful on some level. So,
Yeah.
but even again, that's not even all that relevant because it was 20 years ago. And the issue was dealt with privately. Yeah. So it's like, I'm mainly wanting to listen to this because you just keep picking little things apart about what this guy is saying. But, you know, even if everything that he says is true, it doesn't get rid of the core fact. It was so long ago. There shouldn't be any concern about this at this point, unless he was like threatening the victims and pressuring them to stay silent. If he was doing that, I'd have a different opinion. That's what I would consider a cover-up. And they keep using the word cover-up, but in the end, and I'm only saying this now because I don't know how long it's going to take for us to get through the whole thing. I can't shut up. But in the end, it's like cover-up means there's 2 or 3 details that vary from the girl's account. That really is what it boils down to. And I'm like, you have 2 or 3 variances after 20 years have gone by. Dude, that's not that, like, that's actually really good for something that happened so long ago. Like, what were you expecting? Like 100% accuracy 2 decades later? Really?
Yeah.
Anyway.
You know, I just had a thought. So, like the last episode, we were talking about lizard people / demons, you know, and how
Yeah.
they harvest emotions, right?
Yeah.
This guy is harvesting emotion. Every time he lies, he has to like embellish his language to make it more emotional,
Mm-hmm.
right? So he gets you
Yeah.
sucked in. He's a demon.
He's a lizard person.
In the Bible, this is
He's
called...
probably going to turn into a lizard any minute.
Yeah.
Watch his eyes.
In the Bible, this is called stirring derision. That's what this is. Because if this was... Like, if you look at Ravi Zacharias, they underplayed what that guy did. This guy's trafficking women. This guy's threatening women to keep quiet. This guy is using his position not just as a preacher, but as like a personal therapist to get nude photographs of women. Yeah. I mean, Zacharias was a bad dude.
Like Corn Pop?
He's like Corn Pop. Corn Pop was a bad dude. Yeah, he's like Corn Pop.
You said it was in the Bible?
No, this isn't Zacharias. Zacharias is like a evangelist that died a few years ago.
Oh, okay.
He went his whole life as like one of the most prominent apologists.
I was like, I didn't know they had pictures in the Bible.
Yeah, no.
My kid's Bible does.
Yeah, like the old early 1900s ones does. But anyway, you know, but people kept quiet about him, and they didn't go into all the lurid details of what the guy did because it was humiliating for the victims. In this, it's every teeny tiny little thing gets blown up to be as bad as it can possibly be.
Yeah, which means it's a nothing burger.
Exactly. Because it's like, hey, I think this 20-year-old, which I'm sorry, 20-year-olds are young and stupid, but they're still sentient. I mean, it's not like he's talking to somebody who is completely incapable of making decisions.
Yeah.
Like, to be callous, she's legal, but it's not, she's past legal. It's a completely different dynamic. Like, she's an employee. Doesn't make it good, doesn't make what he did right, but the idea that it's pedophilic, the idea that it's like he's like preying on small children and trying to equivocate that with what he actually did, to me, I find that really disgusting.
Yeah.
And they deny that's what they're doing. But you don't use the term groomer or grooming without intentionally using it to create that impression.
Yeah.
You don't use the word
You call
stupid.
somebody a groomer, you hate them.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's personal. That's to twist the knife, and that's to make somebody look as bad as possible.
Yep.
In my opinion, that's just dishonest. So, again, he's not a good guy, but that's not what happened.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay, so I think I'm kicking this dead horse. I don't think we need to spend more time on this. There's a couple more points on this I want to go after, though. So there's one major thing that I guess would be the last detail to really talk about on it. And that would be, ironically, when they talk about Dr. Brown covering up everything that covering up certain things, if you go through the whole 3-hour video, in the end, it's basically whether it was like 7 kisses or 5. It's that kind of crap. And the big hubbubaloo that they spend most of their time talking about is whether or not the girl rummaged through Dr. Brown's cabinets or whether or not she like left him a note. And this was particularly annoying to me because they were like, this is so horrible. I can't believe he's saying she rummaged through her cabinets. Or he is saying she rummaged through his cabinets to make her look bad. And I got to thinking about this whole note thing. And I'm like, if she really was leaving notes for this guy, of course, I don't think that's what happened. She says she was leaving notes. I think she lied to cover up the fact she was digging through his stuff because she was a 20-year-old girl. She was dog-sitting and bored. And I think that's how she found the note. So I think she was just digging through stuff, being nosy, which is normal.
So he never actually gave her the creepy note?
No, she found it. And there's 2 varying accounts about how she found it. One account is that she was leaving him a note in a Bible. The other is that she was rummaging through his stuff and came across it. Now, I don't know what actually happened, but I will say this. If she was leaving notes, that means she was complicit in whatever was going on, and in no way, shape, or form was this predatory. You do not leave a grocery list you don't hide a grocery list in the family Bible. So whatever she was writing, she didn't want it to be on the kitchen table.
Right.
So if that is what happened, it does not make her look better.
No.
I imagine she was probably just rummaging through stuff and didn't want to admit it, said a lie on impulse, and didn't realize the lie actually made her look worse. That's what I think happened. I don't know. But Dr. Brown says she was rummaging, and he's going, I can't believe that he said this. That's meant to attack her. And I'm like, no, it's not. Either he said she was rummaging because he couldn't figure out why else she would be digging through his stuff. Or he was saying she was rummaging to protect her from the embarrassment of having to admit that she was writing notes to him. So it was either a shot in the dark because he didn't know how else she would have found the note, or he was trying to protect her, in which case it's not him attacking her character because the note thing makes her look infinitely worse, regardless of what was actually happening.
Yep.
So that was the other big point. The last point I want to mention on this, and I swear I'll shut up, is Mike Winger keeps bringing up accountability on this. He says the reason this is important is because we have to keep our religious leaders accountable, and accountability is good for us. I don't remember off the top of my head every single scripture referring to accountability. I do remember the one in Paul. And in Paul, there is a procedure. And I think he mentions Matthew 18. I don't know why he's mentioning Matthew 18. I might have to look it up. But whenever you're talking about church discipline, what's important about that is whether or not there is actually currently a sin ongoing. Like, you confront the believer about something they are currently doing.
Right.
And if they deny it or continue to do it, then you bring 2 people. And then you bring the matter to the congregation. And after the confrontation with the congregation, if he still refuses to stop doing the thing, then he's kicked out.
You go public with it.
Yeah. But the whole criterion is it has to be an active sin. It has to be something that is currently going on. Not the cover-up of the sin, technically counting as the sin, because there's 2 or 3 details that are different.
Or 23 years later after it's already taken care of.
Exactly, or 23 years later after it's already taken care of. This is done It should have been done. Whatever the heck is going on, it has nothing to do with him being in sin currently or him being some kind of threat. What they want, or him being some kind of threat to a student, what they want is a struggle session. They are mad that he didn't go.
They want a humiliation ritual.
Exactly. They want a humiliation ritual. They want him to be punished.
They want money.
Or they want money, or they want to throw him out. One way or the other, they want something that basically gratifies their own ego.
Like, oh, look at all the guilt and shame you should feel.
Hey, Jen.
Hey, Jen.
It's good to see you. And so I will end this diatribe on Rand Canter and Mike Winger with the following words. There is another scripture I know. I may not be as smart as Mike Winger when it comes to the Bible, but I will say this. There is one that keeps coming up in my mind over and over again. By your words you will be acquitted, and by your words you will be condemned. And if you're going to hold Michael Brown to this standard, just remember that you too will be held by this standard in the last day. That doesn't mean you're going to go to hell, but Christ is going to judge us in heaven, and the criterion for that is going to be how you treated and how you judged other people. So maybe hesitate before bringing back crap up that's 23 years old. Now I'm done, and now I will shut up.
The Bible preaches against guilt. Don't have guilt.
Guilt, shame, and condemnation.
This guy's just trying to bring it all back up.
Yeah, this is called stirring derision, which is a sin.
Yeah,
it's a sin. Yeah.
He's a scumbag. Him and Brandon Biggs should go hang out together.
All right.
Maybe Brandon can grow a soul patch.
I think he'd look dashing in it. So...
I have a soul patch.
Oh, anyway. So, I apologize for not getting more through this video. I just couldn't... it just made me so mad. I just couldn't shut up. I've tried to shut up. But I couldn't do it. So, if you want to see if I represented Mike Winger in this interview fairly, go and watch it. Go look at... Trevor, what was the website I had you write down?
BrownWitnessReport.com.
BrownWitnessReport.com. Go check that out. Go check out Dr. Michael Brown's side of the story. If you are interested in this, do your own research, because apparently I could not stop bloviating, and that is a failure on my part. So
that guy's still around? He's still talking to Jesus or the Lord?
He is! He is indeed. And Cody still hates him. With a vile passion.
It's not vile. It's more humorous.
More humorous. Okay. All right.
I just think he's ridiculous. He's like
ridiculous.
I don't have a good analogy. He's terrible.
He's our precious source of entertainment. And one of the highest sources of views for us, for reasons I'll never understand.
Right.
So, anyway.
I'm hoping our failure on looking up his background goes get some hits, because that one's pretty funny.
Well, we all learned something that day. I don't know what, but it was something. So, yeah. Anyway, okay, so honestly, you watched more of this than Trevor did. Did I do a good job representing what this guy said? Because I don't want to be... I've been humorous and glib, but I don't want to necessarily be unfair towards this whole thing. Like, is there any details or anything that I missed that you recall, Cody?
Not that I recall. There's a lot of concentration on the Walmart parking lot thing. Mm-hmm. But it's all like he was like on his way home, and he had to stop at Walmart, and like, he'd be like, "Oh, meet me at Walmart in the parking lot," or whatever, and then they would hold hands or talk or whatever. Yeah. But I don't know. I think it's just all ridiculous, man.
I think so too.
This guy bringing all this, he's like a shitty little kid with a hatchet. He's like, "Look, I found the hatchet in the backyard, Mom and Dad. It was buried, but I dug it up because I'm the special boy."
Yeah. Gosh, Jess she said so much smart stuff on here. I should have brought her on. It was just, I think the big catch was like her, For me, the biggest impression was the indignation at the continuously using the word student and groomer. Like, that actually made her mad. And that, to me, that was like, okay, this guy's definitely full of crap.
He was a groomer, and I live in Israel.
In Israel, yeah.
And he falls out of his chair.
Just in
And
Israel.
I fell out of my chair when I heard
Israel.
that men have lust.
Yeah. How shocking. I can't believe it.
I've never had to contend with that once in my whole life.
Oh, yeah. He's never had a problem of lust. Not one time.
That's why I have a soul patch, because it shows how perfect and righteous I am.
Soul. I got so much soul. Just bursting at the seams of unlustful soul.
Jen wants to know who we're talking about.
Talk about Ray Canter, I believe is the man's name. Yeah, Ray Canter.
He's not on the stream.
Yeah. All right. Okay, I'm done. I swear I'm done. Okay, if you're still If you're still watching the live stream, please stay with us. We got one more segment left. If you're watching this after the fact, guys, thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.
We will see you next time.
If you're lucky.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Faith, Fiction, and Folklore. If you did, we would love it if you would subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Rumble. We can also be found on X, Instagram, and Facebook. And we are available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. Thank you again very much for listening, and we'll see you next time.